Wonka's chocolate factory is the biggest in the world? True? Of course it's true. Good heavens. Didn't you know that? It's about 50 times as big as any other. And is it true, Grandpa, that Mr. Willy Wonka's factory is the biggest and he's the most cleverest chocolate maker in the world? My dear boy, Mr. Willy Wonka is the most amazing, the most fantastic, and the most extraordinary chocolate maker the world has ever seen. I thought you knew that. I knew he was famous, Grandpa, and I knew that he was clever. Have I never told you about Mr. Wonka and his factory? Never, Grandpa. Will you tell me now, please? I certainly will. Come, sit. Sit beside my bed and listen carefully. Oh, what a man he is, Mr. Willy Wonka. Did you know, for example, he himself invented 200 kinds of chocolate bars, each with a different center, each far sweeter and creamier and more delicious than anything any other chocolate factory has ever made. He also has really fantastic inventions up his sleeve. Did you know that he invented a way of making chocolate ice cream so that it would stay cold for hours and hours even without being refrigerated? You can just leave it lying there in the sun and it won't go runny. But that's impossible, Grandpa. Of course it's impossible. It's completely absurd. But Mr. Wonka has done it. And let me tell you something. Nobody ever comes out. Out of where, Grandpa? And nobody ever goes in. In where? Mr. Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, of course. What do you mean, Grandpa? I mean, workers, Charlie, workers. All factories have workers streaming in and out of the gates morning and in the evening. But not Willy Wonka's. Have you ever seen a single person going into the place or coming out? Well, have you? I, I really don't know, Grandpa. Whenever I walk past the factory, the gates seem to be closed. But there must be people working there. Not people, Charlie. Not ordinary people. Then who? That you see is another of Mr. Willy Wonka's cleverness. You see, Charlie, not so long ago there used to be thousands of people working in Mr. Willy Wonka's factory. And one day, all of a sudden, Mr. Willy Wonka had to ask every single one of them to leave and go home. But why? Because of spies. Yes, all other chocolate makers you see had begun growing jealous of Mr. Willy Wonka and the wonderful sweets he made. They started sending in spies to steal the secret recipes. The spies took jobs at Mr. Willy Wonka's factory, pretending that they were ordinary workers. But while each one of them were there, they found exactly how a certain special thing was made. And did they go back to their factories and tell? They must have. Because soon after that, Mr. Figglewood's factory started making ice cream that would never melt, even in the hottest sun. And all other chocolate makers made other unique chocolates that Mr. Wonka had made. Mr. Wonka tore his beard and shouted, "This is terrible! I shall be ruined. There are spies in the factory and I have to close down the factory at once." But did he do that? Oh yes, he did. He told all the workers that he was sorry and they had to go home. He shut the main gates, fastened them with a chain, and all of a sudden, Mr. Wonka's factory became silent and deserted. Not a soul went in, and not a soul came out. Even Mr. Willy Wonka disappeared completely. Months and months went by, but the factory remained closed. Then something astonishing happened, Charlie. One day in the morning, thin white columns of smoke came coming out of the top and the tallest chimney. People in this town stopped and started saying, "What's going on? Someone's lit up the furnace. Mr. Willy Wonka must be opening again." They ran to the gates, expecting to see wide open and Mr. Willy Wonka standing there and welcoming them. But no. The gates were still locked and chained as securely as ever before. Mr. Willy Wonka was nowhere to be seen. But people could smell the melting chocolate in the air. And most mysterious of all, Charlie, were the shadows behind the window. The people standing on the streets outside could see small moving shadows behind the frosted glass. Shadows of whom, Grandpa? That's exactly what everybody wanted to know. The place was full of workers, but nobody had gone in and the gates were locked. It was crazy. Everybody. And nobody came out either. The factory was running, and it's been going on ever since, for the last 10 years. But what's more, the chocolates have become more sweeter and tastier, and more fantastic and delicious than ever before. And of course, whatever Wonka invents, nobody has been able to copy it. So no spies can go into the factory to find out how it's made. But Grandpa, who is Mr. Wonka using to do all the work in the factory? Nobody knows, Charlie. But that's absurd. Hasn't anyone asked Mr. Wonka? Nobody has seen him anymore. He never comes out. The only thing that comes out of the place are chocolates and sweets. They come out through a special trap door in the window, all packed and addressed, and they are picked up by the post office trucks. But Grandpa, what sort of people are there who work in the factory? My dear boy, that is one of the greatest mystery in the chocolate making world. We know one thing about them. They are very small. There aren't such people, Grandpa. After a few days. Have you heard the news, Charlie? There's an article by Willy Wonka. Here it goes. Willy Wonka's factory to be opened to a lucky few. I, Willy Wonka, have decided to allow 5 children, mind you, just 5 and no more, to visit my factory this year. These 5 lucky children will be shown around personally by me. They'll be allowed to see all the secrets and the magic of the factory. And then, at the end of the tour, as special presentation, all of them will be given enough chocolate and sweet to last for the rest of their lives. So watch out for the golden ticket. 5 golden tickets have been printed on the golden paper, and these 5 golden tickets have been hidden underneath ordinary Willy Wonka chocolate bar. These 5 chocolate bars can be anywhere in the world, in any shop, in any street, in any town, or in any country. And the 5 lucky finders of these golden tickets are the only one who will be allowed to visit the factory and see what's like inside. Good luck to you all. Happy hunting. Wouldn't be something amazing, Charlie, to open a bar and see a golden ticket? It would, Grandpa. But there isn't hope. I only get 1 chocolate bar a year. You never know, darling. It's your birthday next week. You have as much chance as anybody else.
After a week.
Happy birthday, Charlie! Wow! Willy Wonka's Ripple Scrumptious Fudge Mellow Delight. You better go ahead and open it, or it'll be late to school. Well, that's that, Charlie. Just as we expected.
The next day.
Shh! Here, this is my secret hoard. The others don't know about it. You and I are going to have one more fling at finding that last ticket. How about it, eh? But you'll have to help me. Are you sure you want to spend all your money on that, Grandpa? Of course I'm sure. Don't just stand there arguing. I'm as keen as you are to finding the ticket. Here, take the money. Run down the street to the nearest shop and buy the first Willy Wonka bar you can lay your hands on. And bring it back straight to me. And we'll open it together. Have you got it? Good. Now come here, sit next to me. We'll open this together. Are you ready? Yes, Grandpa, I'm ready. All right, tear it off. Well, we know that there isn't really hope. You know that, right? Yes, Grandpa, I know that.
In the next few weeks, Charlie had grown thinner than ever. The family hardly had any food to eat. Then one afternoon, walking back home, his eyes was caught suddenly by something silvery lying in the gutter, in the snow. It was 50 pence piece. Quickly he looked around. Had somebody just dropped it? No, that was impossible because the part of it was blurred. Several people went hurrying past him on the pavement. None of them was searching for any money. Then it was his, this 50 pence. It meant one thing to him at that moment. It meant food. Automatically, Charlie turned and began moving towards the nearest shop. He would buy one luscious bar of chocolate and eat it all up. And the rest of the money he would take straight back to home and give to his mother.
One Wonka's Whipple Scrub just for mellow delight, please. You look like you wanted that one, Sonny. Take it easy. It'll give you a tummy ache if you swallow it all together. And here's your change. I I think I'll just have one more of those chocolate bars, sir. The same one as before. It's the golden ticket. You've got the golden ticket. You found the last golden ticket. Can you believe it, everybody? Come here, come here. Look at this. Look at this. This kid has found the last golden ticket. There it is, right there in his hands. And it's in my shop too. Wow, he found the last golden ticket, and that too in my shop. Somebody call the newspaper. Let them know.